The supercharged cars come to the line. First up, Scott Leo in the competition performance corridor, and Dean McLennan in the Castrol funny car. The Wreckers Hotline Top Comp run on a handicap system. The drivers all nominate their own handicap time. The difference is dialed into the Christmas tree starting mechanism. Then we've got a race to the other end. Dean McLennan just pointing out something to his crew there. Joining me in commentary as usual, Paul Casos. Top Comp, always plenty of action.
Plenty of action and just about to get underway as the lights run down and Scott Leo goes well. Dean McLennan, I figure in a little bit of strife this time. Wait and see. Left the red light on the tree, and Scott Leo at 8.06, 216 kilometres an hour for the win.
Of course, if you leave too soon, it is a red light and you lose. Adrian Christian there in the Eastern Creek Performance Holden up against Matt Abel, all the way down from Darwin for the Conoco Winternationals in the Abel Tiling Services Capri. First round of Wreckers Hotline Top Comp Eliminator, and these guys have smoked in the start line at Willowbank Raceway.
All states of Australia represented here at the Conoco Winternationals. Long way to tow for Matt Abel, all the way from Darwin.
Adrian Christian, of course, up from Sydney, regular competitor now in this Holden. We find him in Wild Bunch at the Canberra track, and of course at Wreckers Hotline Top Comp here at Willowbank for the Conoco Winternationals. Matt Abel out in front, a little bit loose, but shoot out early, gets across the line, 8.01, he's got the win.
So confidence there for Matt Abel pulling that chute so early. The next pairing now, Debbie Reid, the Reid Transport Dragster, taking on one of the colourful cars of drag racing. This is Kevin Campbell in the 34 Ford Coupe.
Debbie Reid has been running in the 6-second zone with her small block Chevy powered dragster. Here she is, picture of concentration behind the wheel. Kevin Campbell, a 7-second runner in that 34 Coupe. Pretty popular car with the ladies out here. You couldn't get it much pinker, that's for sure. Top Comp, let's see how they go now in this first round battle.
Lights go to green. Kevin Campbell's going well.
Red light on the tree for Kev though. He's left too soon again. It was just obstructed by the starter's hut. But Debbie Reid will get the win.
Darryl Woods now in his EV Falcon, taking on a guy who's won out here at Willowbank many times. This is John Payne in his Chevy Corvette.
Payne, of course, one of the founding members of the Australian Wild Bunch Association for the supercharged sedans. Now we have two of them in this first round of Wreckers Hotline Top Comp. And Darryl Woods has been stepping up the performances in this Falcon. He's looking pretty good of recent times. John Payne there though, he is one of the real contenders. And in fact, I think won this meeting last year.
Woods away, both green lights this time. John Payne doing the chasing, the Ford, the Corvette's coming on the bottom end. It's the Ford, Darryl Woods, 8.29, 240 kilometres an hour.
Payne was a little bit too late, and Woods' crew were pretty happy with that one. Dennis Paul now with the Keith Black Chrysler powered dragster to take on John Moll, a little bit mate of Darryl Woods'. We can see we're trying to make sure there's a party on in the pits tonight between those two teams.
A variety of race cars is what makes Top Comp so exciting, and here's a good example of it, the sedan taking on the dragster.
And of course it's this dial your own handicap system that evens it all up. The racers do qualifying then when they get to racing, they can nominate what time they want to be handicapped on. Now John Moll's got out fairly strongly, the dragster's got a big top end, but John Moll hangs on by about a wheel, a 786 at 253 kilometres an hour.
This is Russell Schaefer, the Clouds Wreckers Dragster, taking on Steve Swinscoe. The performance will be a Super Performance funny car.
Swinscoe, the current leader in the Wreckers Hotline Top Comp series, and there's a nice little pot of gold at the end of the series for that one. Here he comes back from his big long burnout, getting guided back in his own tyre tracks. Russell Schaefer's gone into stage. I saw both stage lights come on there, and well, Swinscoe's still in the burnout procedure. There is a 20-second rule that applies. Once a racer goes into stage, his opponent only has 20 seconds to get into the start line beam. But I have to say, Paul, staging that early isn't what you'd call too sportsmanlike at times. I see the Andrew official there with the clock watch, the stopwatch, but it looks like Swinscoe will make it.
Oh, it didn't make it. In fact, the starter has flicked the switch, and it'll be Yes, Schaefer's going through, and that will be controversial, Rob.
There'll be some discussions about that one in the pits, that's for sure. There's already some discussions on the start line there. As I say, the 20-second rule does apply, but there are some ethics that's normally followed. Maurice Fabietti from Sydney in the new Pontiac Trans Am. This is a brand new race car.
Taking on Dave Wallace, the Brisbane Drive Shaft Holden Commodore. Yeah, what a difficult race meeting, in fact, to debut a new car. But Maurice Fabietti been around drag racing for a long time, and what a really smooth-looking machine under the lights here tonight at Willowbank.
Well, last year we saw him, I think, go to the quarter or semi-finals in Top Comp Eliminator of the Conoco Internationals. That time, though, he was driving Steve Turner's Nostalgia Dragster. This time, a sleek Pontiac American body car up against, as we say, Dave Wallace in this Brisbane Drive Shafts and Balancing Service big block Chevy powered Calais. You've got to give it to Dave Wallace. He really does present this car well. We're, of course, in the Nestle Night of Thunder at the Conoco Internationals.
And watching the tree run down there and both getting green lights. Dave Wallace is going well. Maurice Fabietti, who's going to get there first? It's Fabietti, 7:29, 244 kilometres an hour.
Records Hotline Top Comp, a full 16 car field. Tom Coonan, the next one out in the Holtz Crane Hire car. And how about this BMW for Elfie Sabello? Beautiful car up from Sydney.
Yeah, the preparation of all our race cars here at Willowbank Raceway is just of the highest order, but just take a look at the detail here on this BMW.
Well, both of these cars shining examples of what Top Comp Eliminator is all about. Big engine for Elfie Sabello, and Tommy Coonan, on the other hand, he's just got a small block Chevy, but the detail inside Sabello's BMW, it is just a beautiful race car.
And our cameras there, Records Hotline Drag Racing 98 cameras getting in nice and close. Well, both of these cars are staged. The lights go to green. Tommy Coonan's going well. Tom Coonan in the Ford LTD. Here comes the BMW. It's the Ford. Tom Coonan, 774, 276 kilometres an hour.